Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd just like to read a few poems for you just now, if you don't mind. This first one is called Home Is. Home is running wild with a football, wind whispering, shoot, shoot. Rain ragged against my 10-year-old face, a pause, gather in the high chimney, a finger pointing to the cloud-folded sky. This is my youthful marker. Amongst the self-same rough-skinned houses, this gives direction home. After, I flick the ball high with new-bought boots. Score! Roy of the Rovers style. Home is another place, time-carved hills, a phone call, father to father. It's a boy, I say. Memories surface, footprints in ancient earth revealed. Home is memory birthed, moment by moment. This one's called My Father, and it was after a painting by John Bellamy, which was also called My Father. And it was a painting of his father, who was a fisherman when he was retired, and just kind of sitting in his favourite chair. This is my father. If I could paint, or if I could draw or paint to save my life, I would have him sat in his favourite white leather chair. I would have his freckled, still hands drumming decreasing time on a dark wooden arm. I would have him stare into his past, his face sagging with time, his hands though strong, and capable still of lifting me high to catch the stars. If I could draw or paint to save myself, I would do all this and wonder, how can it be that I have my father's hands, when all I do is fetch words from one place to the next? He lifted weights far greater than a laughing boy. His hands were marked deep into sinew that worked finger to the bone. Like Bellamy, I would make those hands huge and wonder if he too inherited his father's hands. And after all, he too, when asked for a subtitle, answered self-portrait. This is a poem called I Dreamed I Told Him. I dreamed I told him I loved him one more time, that we laughed till memories burst our sides. I dreamed the sun rose with them for one more day. I dreamed they never went away. I dreamed I told him I loved him one more time. This poem comes from the kind of era of very long, pretentious poem titles. Not like My Father and Home. This has been, some of my poem titles used to be longer than the actual poems themselves. And it came from a time when my son, who was 6 at that time, he's now a wee bit older than that, we both went up to like Edinburgh a day out, and if I remember, the deal was, if I got to go to the Scottish Gallery of Modern Art, he got to go to the Disney store. So anyway, the title of this is A Day Out at the Scottish Gallery of Modern Art. I sit and listen to the son tell her father all about it. The form, the way of the sculpture, how it runs and builds itself fresh in his clear 6-year-old mind. I listen, trying to reach back to when my eyes were new and truly open. I try, and maybe a glimpse of what he can see. Then it fades behind the mist of time and habit. Maybe though, you'll teach me again to look and feel again before the mist turns to fog. And he grew up to be a physicist. This poem here is called On Seeing Caroline Cassidy at Waterston, so that comes from roughly the same era. And I don't usually sort of explain my poems, and I'm not going to explain the poem, but maybe a wee bit about the background to this. I think obviously the clue's in the title, but Caroline Cassidy, I think probably most of you know her, but just in case, her and her husband and Jack Kerouac, their alter egos, were on the road, and obviously they were involved in the beats, etc. And when this was a book launch in Waterson's, and she was there as part of this particular book launch, but also as part of it, at the time there was a play on in Edinburgh about the beats, and they performed an extract from that play in front of her. Basically, her younger self, plus Jack Kerouac, plus Neil Cassidy, which I thought must have been really strange to look on at. But anyway, that sort of struck me, as well as other things in this poem, was the kind of result of that. And seeing Caroline Cassidy at Watson's, she arrives small, grandmother size, pink glasses pointed at the edge, pink suit and a pink chair. Then the eyes behind the pink, glancing at the ghosts who sit on either shoulder. Jack Kerouac, Neil Cassidy, glare and brood and smile from books at either corner of the room. Or the lady sits to watch her life, or that bit which is forever in the spotlight, frozen. Sits to watch actors act her husband and herself and Jack. It is not a pretty scene. She sits to watch, face tight, adjust the looking glass that slides down her nose. She sits to watch while the audience applauds the past. She sits to watch the actors take their bow. They can leave the stage. She's forever stuck, carrying a dead husband on her back. To tilt his face towards the crowd, meet my Neil, look, this is him. But they turn their backs, to make masks, to drop to their knees, to long for on the road. Her husband will forever live in a book, courtesy of his friend Jack, courtesy of the timidity of others. While death stills the beat of the living, Burroughs gone, Ginsberg beat him to it. Only the wife will remember the husband, will remember the moments not stamped between the pages of another's mind. Only the wife will know the man, while others turn pages for Dean Moriarty. She will watch and see the man, her husband. Just a couple more. This one's called The Storyteller. He was a 4-foot giant, a street corner Jackanory, our teller of tall tales that swept us up and held us as we travelled through time. With him, to roar again with the Lisbon Lions, to hold aloft the European Cup. A Celtic warrior that bit the kneecaps of the opposition, sent them flying with their tails between their legs, slapped palms with Bruce and Wallace, beat Armstrong to the moon, had time after tea to gather up his troops to lead the charge of the Light Brigade. He showed us his scars where he fell but lived to curse commanders who sipped sherry from a safe distance of the hilltop. He was our 4-foot giant, our fourth channel before number 4 sailed the waves. He was ageless in an age that passed too quickly into the mockery of adulthood. We grew up, or so it is called, while he stood still, or so it seemed. He was, and now they tell me he is no more. He's gone. The credits roll. Don't be so sure, I tell them. Sit on the edge of my seat. Wait for the surprise ending. I'd like to finish with another sort of I Dream poem. This is I Dream of Silly Things. I dream of silly things, of holding a tune, dancing with 2 left feet, rolling my tongue, spelling supercala backwards. I dream of silly things, of government healthy eating scheme of 5 chocolate bars a day, the only way to a healthy lifestyle, official. I dream of silly things, of eating ice cream in the snow, or wearing shorts and t-shirt in the rain. I dream of silly things, saying to my sons, exams don't matter. Yes, get a tattoo or two. Dream your world, stand still, listen. I dream of silly things, not world peace or a cure for the common cold. What can I say? I like to keep it real. Thank you.